I want to greet all the delegates of the Pastors and Workers Conference there in North Valley Baptist Church. We had your pastor at our Pastors and Workers Conference last October, and they were such a blessing. And I just want to challenge the pastors and folks there to support missionaries. There are many of these young missionaries that go out, and it's hard to go on deputation. I did it. I couldn't take more than a year of it. So I hope you'll consider these young men especially that need your help, and they're giving up what they have. Many times they've been working in a church or a pastor even, but it's not easy to do that. I know it's not easy in the United States either, but I think it's a great blessing. To me, it's helped our church more than it's helped the missionary even. And it will help your church. You will not lose any money by giving to missions. I've never known a church that is given and then they regret it. So just want to challenge you to consider the many missionaries that have gone out and started works in different parts of the world. Bring them to your church, let them speak there, have a missions conference. Those things, they take money, they take time, they take effort, but it will help your members. And from my experience, it's helped the churches financially that do that. The Great Commission is for everybody, and we as Independent Baptists really want to see people get saved outside of our own country. And so when we do that, I think God really likes that, Our church was started out of a Bible study back in October of 1977. We just arrived in Manila, stayed there a week to get our visa, and then came down and started a Bible study on a Friday or Wednesday night in our home. And so for 6 months, all we did was train soul winners, and we didn't have a morning service. And really not exactly like a church. So we went for deputation for a year or so, and all of our support had come in. This land right here is probably the biggest thing that happened with that at that time anyways. We tried for 7 months to negotiate for this land and finally got it. But it was a lot of money even in those days. It's like $65,000. And so I saved money for that, made a down payment. But that money came from the States. And it gave us a chance to have good accessible property in a house before we came over here. But that was just one thing in the early years that helped us. They helped us with the future Bible school because we needed a bigger property. And the most important thing that you can teach your church about missions and about giving is just preach on faith up to that. Preach about faith. That's what's lacking with people. It's like the pastor that said they were trying to raise money for a building. This pastor gets up and says, I got good news and I got bad news. And so what do you want first? The good news, the good news. He said, well, the good news, we got the money for the building, to complete the building. Wow, they're cheering. What's the bad news? That money's in your bank account right now. So that's true. The good news and the bad news is that, anybody can give. Well, I was there. I remember one time I spoke at the old building. It was the early service I had at that time. And I preached on a subject, how to give when you don't have any money. And I learned things here from our people, how you can give without any money. You give by faith, you sacrifice, ask God for wisdom. But the money's there. It's just in your bank account, in a sense. And so I want to challenge you, even if you're a newer church, especially then to teach your members faith. And faith promise giving is a very good way, or just teaching people by faith to give to missions, however you want to teach, methods you use. But it will bless your church more than it will bless you, the missionaries even. And it blesses us, believe me, it helps us too. Joe, I hope you got that, please.